Through flashbacks, Jekyll tells the story of Princess Ahmanet, Sophia Batella. She was a cunning warrior who was ready to succeed her father, the pharaoh Meneptah, Selva Rosalingam, until his second wife gave birth to a boy. Knowing that the boy would be the pharaoh's new successor, Ahmanet made a pact with Set, the god of death, to sell her soul for a dark power. Ahmanet murders Meneptah, his wife, and their baby. She prepares to perform a ritual on her lover using a special dagger that would give Set a body of his own, but the pharaoh's priest stopped Ahmanet and killed her lover. She was mummified alive and had her sarcophagus taken away from Egypt and down a tomb where she could never be found. Everyone rides home in a plane. Vale starts to act weird as his skin has turned gray and his eyes look discolored. He tries to cut the sarcophagus free from its holdings. Greenway approaches him to stop him, but Vale stabs him twice, killing Greenway. Vale starts moving toward Nick and the other soldiers, forcing Nick to shoot Vale dead. Nick and Jenny go into the cockpit and see a whole flock of crows flying and crashing through the windshield. The pilots are killed, and the plane starts to go down. Nick gives Jenny a parachute and pulls it so she can get out safely. The plane then crashes with everyone on board. Nick wakes up in a body bag at a morgue in London. Standing next to him is Vale's ghost, who tells him that they are both cursed. Jenny is asked to identify the bodies of the deceased but is surprised to see Nick alive. At the crash site, rescue workers find the sarcophagus and Ahmanet's corpse. One man approaches it and is caught off guard as Ahmanet sucks the life out of him and his partner to regenerate her body. She then uses her powers to turn them into reanimated corpse slaves. Nick and Jenny are in a pub. He goes to the bathroom and sees Vale's ghost talking to him again. He warns Nick that Ahmanet has chosen him for a reason. Nick then runs out of the pub and is cornered in an alley by a whole swarm of rats. They crawl all over him as he sees Ahmanet crawling toward him, but he is snapped out of this vision by Jenny. She tells Nick what she learned from reading the hieroglyphs on the sarcophagus. She knows about Set's dagger and the jewel that must join it to complete the ritual. Jenny tells Nick about the jewel being buried with the Crusaders there in London. Nick and Jenny run through the tunnels where they encounter more of Ahmanet's undead slaves. The two fight them again, with Nick crushing or ripping their heads off. They are pushed into the water by an undead but they destroy it. Nick and Jenny swim up for air but Ahmanet grabs Jenny and drags her underwater. Nick fights off more of the undead and tries to save Jenny, but she drowns. Nick pulls her body out of the water and is confronted by Ahmanet. He attempts to smash the jewel until Ahmanet once again tries to persuade him to join her. Nick holds the dagger out as if to give it to her, but he instead stabs himself with it, now becoming possessed by Set. He battles Ahmanet and gives her the kiss of death to suck the life out of her, reducing her back to a corpse. Nick then goes over to Jenny and brings her back to life by screaming at her to wake up. He then disappears. Jenny reunites with Jekyll as Ahmanet's body is placed back into a sarcophagus filled with mercury. Jenny wonders what will happen to Nick now that he is technically a monster. Jekyll muses that it took a monster to defeat a monster, and that there is hope for Nick so long as he retains a shred of his humanity. Somewhere in the desert, Nick has brought Vale back to life. They ride their horses off on another adventure as a sandstorm follows them.